Hello and welcome to this new series that I'm attempting with these two beautiful kids. Uh, they have been gracious enough to come up as the first volunteers for this episode called Anxiety. The idea of this series is talking to the youth from A to Z and coming up with terminology that may resonate with them at this point of time. Welcome, Shabrin and Muskan, to the show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Hi. Uh, we had a lot of going back and forth on the technology today itself, and I was wondering whether I was anxious about getting this right. I tried some new device before getting you all on this, but there was also this sense of, yeah, I'll see this through. No need to get panicky about it. So one keeps hearing a lot of this word anxiety. Now, my kid is 15 and she keeps saying, "Okay, we make a big drama out of everything." Once she was asking me, "Are we being too casual with the use of the word anxiety?" So, what are your thoughts, Muskan? Do you want to go first?
Okay. I don't know. Maybe, maybe I think people are getting more emotionally available and they are telling more about what's probably in them. That's why maybe it's the whole hocus pocus where people are like, oh, why is anxiety being used so much? But maybe even if something is there for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, or 2 minutes, someone feels it and they say it. It's just as normal as saying we are happy and we are anxious. I don't really see a lot of difference in thinking that okay, why is anxiety being so so overthought, given so much spotlight, given so much spotlight, yeah. Or I don't know, yeah, why? Maybe for you, like you said, for your daughter, maybe the thing is that because you're a parent, you are like, okay, she shouldn't feel this way. Maybe that's why uh the thought is coming wherein, okay, why is she thinking or what's happening with her? But I think it's not really that big of a deal.
Okay. Uh, in fact, she's the one who came and told me her friends were talking like this. I have been trying to study this for a while now because this was a new term to me when I first heard it around, I think, a year back or so, called anxiety attacks and panic attacks. And I heard it as recently as 3 days back from somebody who's your age group. So now we are talking from school onwards till the time where people have started working. And uh, Shabrin, do you think we are overestimating the definition of the word anxiety?
I said I do feel that people have generalized it in a way, like the youth have generalized it in a way. Firstly, because you know how you say like too much awareness is also like harm. Like you know how people have started talking in a way more casual form, like oh, like where it comes to celebrity, where it comes to article media, they talk so much about anxiety, you know, in a more casual way without even explaining it much more. And I feel like when new younger generation hear the word anxiety, if something is wrong, they will just connect the dots. They have read it and they will like, oh, I'm anxious, I have anxiety, like it, one test is not happening, oh, I have
I'm anxious.
anxiety, I'm anxious about it.
Yeah.
So that's that.
But I think also like anxious is being used by these Gen Z people to get more attention.
It has become generalized in a way, and it's not like people are trying to really go into the detail and explain what it actually means. And it has just become very common thing to say, oh, she can't come because she has anxiety, like like people are making it cool.
Like, why are you feeling that way? Like, what's the root cause of feeling it?
Yeah, it's not cool. And now also the second thing is, when the younger generation than us is saying it so often, is also because of parents, because they also feel it, ki thoda, oh, like they also have gotten so much awareness about it now, the more younger parents or whoever, that they feel okay, my kid should have no harm. So like if any inconvenience it is, then oh, you are going through something more.
You're anxious, something's happening. It's like, okay, you're feeling happy, but no one will ask you why you're happy. But if you're anxious, like people will still not ask you why you're anxious. Oh, you're anxious, just give them some space and let them figure out, and then
Yeah,
let them
that
come
has
back to
become
this group.
that has become too common now.
So is it that we are used to the luxury of social media where we are portraying a certain imagery and we feel, oh, everybody, because nobody puts up that I'm anxious on social media comparatively. I'm saying there will be one odd post, but everybody is giving lectures to everybody else. So I am okay, but I generally don't talk about it on social media, for example. So do you think
That's
that
what
is one of,
social media is. It's like exposure of way too much and way too many things. It's like, how you say good and a bad and a both sense. So, it is more important for us to tell the new younger generation to be more how to read it, like, explain them what is rather than holding them back, you should teach or explain them what's more you should be focused on or something because you can't stop whatever is there. Like people are going to talk about it, people are not going to talk about it. If people talk, you get hate. If you don't talk, you get hate. So it's like, both ways. So it's more important for them to understand and read like what's right, what's wrong, instead of trying to hide away from social media because you can't.
yeah. Another thing, the point you guys were making, you think parents are responsible for bringing up uh, kids in a far more safer and ultra safe environments where, oh, my kid shouldn't face this unhappiness or problem. Is that also one of the things that is contributing to it because we become overprotective of our kids?
I think that's the job of a parent. I mean, no parent would want their kids to suffer, or I don't think it's in today's generation in terms of social media.
No, matlab, like, yeah, obviously the parents buy a book. The whole point is for them to be careful, but what it's trying to ask is, do you think they're overdoing it?
So I think that parents are also like, go live your life and do whatever you want to. I don't think that.
I disagree. I feel parents are overdoing it because now they want to know everything. Initially it was not like so many apps, so many technology. People are tracking you. What's up? What's happening? Where are you? People want to know what part. Like, it's like too much in terms of social life also. So parents want to get involved everywhere, and you are exposed to everything now at a very young age. Then even when we were now, when I see like 5-year-old, I think, oh my god, the kid is so smart. Versus we were dumb.
Yeah, like 11-year-olds know how to email and stuff at 11. We would probably go and like just do tick 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 on a
like
keyboard.
what I mean, like
But I think what your point is, it comes more from a concern. Like the parents are more concerned rather than they want to protect. And some might overdo it, some might not. I think it's just how the kids also take it. If the kids want to, they want to seem cool. Oh, my parents let me do anything. I don't have to answer to them. So they're going to read the way that they want to. So it's I think it's that difference. I don't think it really comes from overprotectiveness. If the kids are thinking that my parent is being overprotective because they want to know my location, then I think it's the kid who's thinking wrong. Because it's not wrong to just know about your kid's location, or and forget kids. I think nowadays there are these ads that have like family locations. So everyone should know, yeah, everyone should know where everyone. So if it just
Okay.
comes to kids, then yeah, that's the.
I remember I had finished a Vipassana course, and one of my teachers who was conducting the course was sitting, and we had finished the course, and we were all waiting. This was out of town, waiting for the train, and so he said an interesting thing. He says in India we have this strange habit of वहां पहुंच के फोन करना.
Yeah.
Wherever the hell you are going, you
Yeah.
reach there and call me. He's saying in a train, if you are going, there are bloody thousands of people with you. You think the train is only concerned about your life and the driver is going to dash into someone or not dash into someone because you are traveling. So there is just too much emphasis, and I am also coming from the protection part from that angle that we tend to worry a lot, or we are we are generally wanting to know the well-being at every given moment.
Yeah, that's just because you don't know where that other person is. Like, maybe that might cause you anxiety. If if you have told someone, okay, maybe your family, that you reach here and you don't call, you'll feel anxious because you must be expecting a call. But if that doesn't come, your mind will go south. Okay, why haven't they called? Or if you're not able to reach them, but probably in reality it's nothing. Even such
okay,
things keep on happening.
so okay, let's get a little serious on this. So there are people close to us, and something happened to them on the
Yeah.
spot, and it is completely out of our control. And this has been happening far more than we would like to hear, but one keeps hearing such things very often now.
Yeah.
On the surface of it, what you said is right. We need to be concerned. We are family or friends or whatever. We are concerned about each other's well-being.
Hmm.
But this is a notion only. No? Finally, even if I am with you and I care a lot about you, I can't do anything at all if something serious happens. The best I can do is help you out, or if there's a medical emergency or something. So
Yeah.
that is the most that can happen, and that will still happen wherever we are supposed to reach, whether it is our classes or place of work. Or so, do you think that there needs to be a mindset change somewhere where we need to chill a little more? Because these things happen to us, no? And it is not guaranteeing any other outcome. So even if I
I
am
mean,
with you or
that's
not with you,
inevitable. No matter you worry, or
Yeah.
you chill, that's inevitable. So it's probably a person's take. I
And I
think.
mean, not related to anything. It's just like more like you cannot stop life. It's like asking if we can stop a life. We can't. Like, whether it be a kid, whether it be a parent, whether it be a cousin or anybody, your pet, it can happen to anybody and anywhere at any given point. So it's not something anyone can control. And where it comes to about your question about mindset, the mindset should be that life is unpredictable. You can't control it. Like, whether you try to rule it, command it, or
Yeah.
how much ever you hold it, it's not gonna happen. So that something has nothing to do with chill. That has more to do with how you think. Like, if you have an upbringing only where everything was like, even if you lock a door and it's like, oh my god, something happening,
Yeah.
then that is going to have a toll on you even when you grow. If you're somebody who is carefree from the kid, like, okay, okay, lag gayi, theek hai, chalta hai, chal, you are going to be okay, so you're going to be that person. If you're so like, that way it has to do more with how your surrounding, upbringing,
Yeah.
family, friends, exposure, everything. Because that unsaid, you can't do anything about.
Yeah, and also I think at the end of the day, it really what gives you more relief. If worrying gives you more relief, okay, you are constantly worrying, and with that other person, if that other person is okay with that worry, then it's fine. Then it's between the two
Both
or
of
you,
them.
or the three of you, or the five of you. But if your worry is just making them irritated, then somewhere, yes, you got to change, because there is nothing wrong with it. But it's again, two-way street.
yeah, because I was thinking from the point of view that Muskan mentioned. If I keep worrying, okay, where are both of you? Are you were supposed to be
Yeah.
here? Or it also becomes a habit-forming thing. Uh, I have found that if we take one habit from one place and put it in another context, the habit stays there. So if I'm a warrior, and then I'm never leading to the happiness of the situation.
Yeah,
So
that's there. Because you're in constant motion, that until you don't get that, you're always going to be on a high. Once you get that, you're going to be like on a low. So that is obviously going to be there. Like, people are getting crafty and creative. Now there's these apps that you just share location. And that will give you a relief. Anytime you open the app, you can see where the person is. So you don't need to constantly worry, okay, did that person reach or didn't reach? So even if you're worrying, and if it's making the other person feel uncomfortable, you gotta get crafty and just figure somewhere out, or else just work upon yourself. Those
I
are the
agree.
only two things.
Agree.
so
Your
let me
stress
take
will
it.
not stress me.
Yeah, your stress is
Yeah,
your stress. My
My
stress
stress
is
is
my
my
stress.
yeah. In fact, this reminds me of a time when there were no mobile phones. Something that you guys have had a little experience, but we kind of grew up then. Like 4 5 homes, one telephone used to be there, so you had to actually leave a message and say, "I'm meeting you at 3 at so and so place." Then it became a point in time which
Yeah.
couldn't be debated or negotiated.
Yeah.
So if you were not coming there at 3, come hell or high water, I was stranded in that case because there's nothing that I could do about it. And right now, sometimes it seems very eerie to me. I am also the same. Like I am also used to now. You said that you are going to be there at 3. Why didn't you message me or why didn't you call me? I would have gone to my next appointment or whatever my schedule could have been changed accordingly. Um, Another part that comes to me is, do you find your friends these days talk about anxiety in the real sense of the term? Do you think there is a difference in actual anxiety and this terminology that Shabrin used, that we use it very casually? But do you think there are people who really need help with this subject? And has it become a little more common than it was earlier, even compared to your growing up in the last, say, 7 or 10 years?
I think the anxious thing we have also been talking about for the past 2 3 years only. Otherwise, earlier we never used to. But maybe also because earlier we were in like college, we were in a carefree zone. There was not life happening to us. So it was just like it's just college. It's just your assignment. You have to crook. You have to do it and move on. Like there was no figuring out. Now since there's a lot of figuring out, that's why the term has been more used. Yeah. Because
Yeah. So in my
My
pretty
my daughter is in school, last year of school, and she has friends in her school who have this problem, and categorically mentioning this every now and then. And they've had counselors come and talk to them, and all kinds of nonsense happening. And I put her in the most middle.
you get attention.
no,
Like
but
it's
that's
one
what
way
I
of
said.
it.
Now,
Yeah, fraction
now
of people.
the talk and the exposure, the help, the cause. It's not only help, but
Yeah.
the cause. Everything is spoken so much about that even 1% of inconvenience is happening. You
Yeah.
as a human being will start connecting the dot. Okay, which bimari I have? Like, okay, today this is not happening, so which
Yeah.
problem I have? Like, like
Yeah.
it's okay. You have no problem. It's just one of the bad days. But nobody is saying that to anybody. Like, you have bad day. Oh, you have this. Then people will instantly go and try to see, oh, on Monday also you were this. Sunday also. So, you have a
Yeah.
circle, you have a
Pattern.
pattern.
Yeah. People have
And
that.
you have this problem.
But also, I feel like the kids nowadays, they just think about today, tomorrow, the weekend. That's it. They'll
Yeah.
not think of the larger perspective of life. I have a year, I have 10 years, I have 7 years. They just think about today, tomorrow, weekend. I think they don't have a thought process more than a weekend.
Like even
They're stuck there.
education process, the way you said, you mentioned like you have a counsel, like your
Counselor.
daughter have a counselor. We didn't have any counselor. Education counselor was so stupid. Like she was not educating anything.
And it was only for people who got like C's and D's.
Yeah,
It was not for people who got D's and A's. No. Even though you are inconvenient, it's
Yeah.
only for C and D.
the only education counselor told me you have this percentage, you can go to this college. That's it.
Yeah.
But why am I going to the college? What's the point? What am I? Nobody asked me, oh, you want to be at this, you want to be that? No, no. Percentage meaning science, commerce, art, whichever you like. Now it's like, oh, you have a education counselor, you have a therapist, you have a teacher, you have a literature teacher who will teach you this, you have math teacher who will teach you this, art teacher will teach you this art, that art.
But I also feel there's a good silver lining to it that, these kids, in whatever way, even if we try to probably take it in a negative way, but like they are so sort of open with their feelings, even if
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
have more people to talk
yeah,
to.
yeah, even if you're like having one of those bad days, you will at least come out and say, you know what, I'm feeling anxious, this has happened. That's it. Otherwise, while probably we were growing up, we were like, just tell the happy days, cry out the bad days, and move on.
You have to figure out that one person, your secret keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Who gave you no advice, by the way?
yeah, but these young people, these kids and all these Gen Z people, they are not afraid to tell people, this is making me annoying, this is making me anxious, this is making me irritated. They'll go and tell 10 people. They won't work on it, but they will tell it to 10 people.
Correct. You are very
Yeah,
right.
they won't work on it, how to make it feel better. But they will tell all those 10, 15 people, probably people on the Instagram will also know what's happening with them. But you,
Yeah, they
you
had the
poor
entire
people
post
around.
about it. I woke up
Yeah.
feeling like la 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 la. So like even to my this thing, yeah, when I heard about the whole anxiety thing, because one of the person I knew was going through back like 3 years back, I couldn't wrap my brain around. If you mentioned a name, please cut that out. So
No, I
you
didn't.
wrap that brain around and to understand okay, what happened. I didn't understood. By the time I reached a point where I went through it in some extent to to get overwhelmed, your life happened, whatever. That's when it hit. Okay, this is how you feel. That's how you feel. And then when
That's what it called.
that's
Yeah.
what you understand the whole point of what it is about, then you study about it, and as you grow older, the people around you who go through it, you want to be there, support it. It's a more serious cause. So like that's why maybe today we are sitting and chit chatting like why people are making fun of it. If you don't go through it, you can't even say that ki how serious the problem is.
Yeah. Um, I chose the topic because it was a serious topic. Um I find some answers coming up. Muskan said something where that they love to talk about it, but they don't sit with it to resolve it in some manner, which is something that I think is a important enough topic rather than getting involved with the word itself. What makes me anxious? Suppose I am always late for meetings and that makes me anxious. Then I need to work on my discipline to come up with an answer to uh, go there 15 minutes prior or aim for 10 minutes earlier. Instead of that, I keep talking about, look, I get anxious about reaching late. It's not going to really help.
Yeah.
Another thing that I liked what Shabrin said was personal experience. What I'm realizing that I have had talks with you at different point of time personally also when we met about certain things that I know. There is a certain sense of resilience that you guys are in exhibiting right now. When I'm talking to you, I'm seeing resilience. Uh, on the surface of it, it seems happy-go-lucky. But it is a well-earned happiness is what I would want to call it, because one episode I've had with Shabrin where we spoke about your professional problems and trying to get out of a routine that you were stuck with, and in fact you were stuck with success rather than being a failure, and that was a very interesting topic to speak about. Muskan and I have spoken once in a while about other things, and I realized that life experiences are very rich, uh, even when you're talking to the young people right now. So when I get to talk to young people, uh, from you on, uh, younger to you as well, I find if you respect their experience and get them to uh, talk about that, that seems to help. What do you guys have to say about this? Do you think that is one of the answers? Because it is kind of close to what Muskan was saying. You bring them close to the topic of sorts. This is what is your problem is. It's not the word anxiety or what it uh, is seen as. Do you think talking about it in a experiential manner would help?
I don't think that today's kids really want to listen to anyone's advice. They like at least the elder generation's advice, so they don't want to listen. They just want to listen to their circle or someone they're influenced by. Like they don't take those elderly advices, do they?
Do
I
you
don't
think
think.
I have a it, I'm gonna
I
be very.
can
I have a
I
more
can't hear
generic
you?
answer. I have a more generic answer. Like when you talk about a cause, as a human nature, you talk about any cause in this world, you're not gonna listen to it till the time it happened to you. Bottom line. I can
True.
blabber as much I want to talk about mental health, be an advocate about
No matter how
anxiety,
big
depression.
empathetic you are, yeah, you cannot. Yeah.
It can't. It can't. You will not connect with it. For me to personally connect to a cause, to with somebody who I friend with or whoever, I need to go through it to be a part of the
whole
feeling or
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
But the only thing I would like people to learn and maybe engrave, like teach you would be to respect, not to make fun of. Like if it does not bother you, it is not important to you. Just don't say something if you have nothing nice to say. Just listen and walk out. Don't give your tippany.
No,
Don't
but
give.
he's saying that would like those kids like to take the
No,
experienced people's advice.
no, that's what I meant. See, that has
That's
nothing
right.
to do with kid or
No,
old
no,
or me or
I did
her.
not mean advice. I like what you just said. I just want to build upon it a little. So what I'll end up doing to connect to uh, the younger people when I speak to them on my podcast, I have been hugely unsuccessful because mostly people 30 and above, 35 and above are watching the podcast. Uh, Once in a while, I get guests like you all, and your friends may be watching some of it, but that doesn't seem to reflect on the audience, general audience that I have. But on a personal level, I tend to I find a lot of hope when I speak to youngsters, irrespective of the number of problems that you guys have to face compared to us, because this mental health is a problem for all of us, considering that everybody knows everything about everything. So there is
Yes.
nobody who seems to be ignorant, but as a whole, I find all of us are ignorant only. So
Yeah.
where I tend to connect is, I think I just look within. All my podcasts are when if I'm talking to you, I try and see if there has been a experience that you might resonate with, or at least my honest feeling about that. Rather than trying to solve your problem, I will just lay down my problem as well, or my understanding of the problem, and just keep it there. Rather than try to say that you don't know, I know, because that doesn't seem to work at all, and it shouldn't, I think, because it is disrespectful of the problem that you have, isn't it? So if we are talking about anxiety, we cannot generalize it. I cannot personalize it only about me. If I really want to connect to you, I have to keep a middle ground where both of us can perhaps talk about it and make you feel secure that you can talk to me without me judging you for it.
Maybe I think it also comes like, okay, the other person should also inspire you. So, whatever things you have to say, that other person will like, he or she will also consider it. So,
Yeah,
like these younger generations, so I don't have a lot of connects with them. I hardly have probably met I think four, five, seven of these people ever in my whole life, because I don't have younger siblings. I just have like four, five who I meet occasionally. Other than that, I have no clue except what I see on social media. But what I see is also they uh they have a face that they will show, and then they have a whole separate life which is there, which until you break constantly, you will not know what's happening behind. And it's filled with uh something that probably we think at this adult age we are doing, but it is for them that younger generations are getting there, especially when it comes to boys and everything. Like we had not been exposed to the level that these guys have been, and that's ever evolving. But because of that, and because of the transition, okay, the parents don't want their kids to still be so exposed. That barrier is a lot. I think that is one of the major things these kids have about boys and parties and all this. मुझे तो लगता है that is the one of the biggest, because पेरेंट्स डोंट वांट कि ठीक है तुम गर्ल्स के साथ या तुम बॉयज के साथ यू गो यू डेट यू मेक बॉयफ्रेंड एंड गर्लफ्रेंड्स, बट today's generation wants to do that, and parents won't. No, but I've seen this. I'll tell you stories also, and these kids want to get involved, but these parents don't want to get involved, and then that barrier just keeps on making them.
widening, widening.
What is the question? No, I know, but I'm coming to. She thinks the question is different. I know, but I'm gonna come to that. Why I'm telling this also is because
No, it is
again,
good
it
because it
comes
is
to
one of the topics
anxiety.
causing anxiety. No?
Yeah, so it is one of the biggest I feel in today's world. It is not chota. It is the biggest. Like I think these kids, even if it is something about work or something, they will put it on something else. No, but
Okay.
no, but it's about anxiety and why it's causing these
Yes.
kids. That's
Okay, Shavrin, you seem to have a different point of view on this.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
if,
Because what he asked was connect.
Basically, if I okay, if I give you advice, will you take it?
हाँ तो मैं वही तो बोल रही हूँ that barrier is what these kids are not taking the advice because the parents want to give the kids advice, but the kids are making it a barrier because the parents don't want to understand. Maybe it's both ways.
I still stand at the same ground. It has it is a very for me it's not a generation kid, my age, her age, your age, or any age question.
yeah,
The question remains whether if somewhere older than me giving me an advice and do I want to resonate with it, it will only come to a point where one, I will click on that advice when I'm going through. If I know ki, like okay, like like when you search about it, when you know ki something in the back of my head is there, okay, I'm maybe going through this feeling and I know this person has gone through it. So now if you blabber, let me connect and understand his experience. Correct.
this is what I mean. Yeah,
Uh, Prior to that, I don't care what you talk. Maybe subconsciously, if I feel okay, you are going, what you're saying is something I might be like -1% going through, I will connect with you. Otherwise, I will not connect
Are
with
we
you.
talking about different generations or people of same generation?
Muskan, your answer has always been that I was talking to you as a young person and you're talking about other young people. So now
Yeah.
it is already crossed three generations in that sense.
अच्छा,
But
so we're talking about
let me
all
go back.
generations in general.
It is, see,
Okay.
then I like what she's done is she's democratized the whole thing, saying it is human beings and human problems. What Shabrin is trying to say.
But
It could be with, I have elder relatives that I have to play the same game with. I have to calm them down. There have been times I have seen big events, big life changing events not being accepted by uh, people elder to me. And I'm just sitting and listening to their point of view with a lot of respect for their point of view, even though I do not agree with even 1% with what they're saying. Because they have a right to their point of view. I may not agree with it, and they know that I do not agree with it. But just because I'm listening very carefully and I'm trying to give them that feeling, look, I understand where you're coming from, but I still do not agree. I find that truth has a lot of power because the other person knows, okay, he is very clear that he's not going to agree with me, but he
correct.
is being respectful of the fact that I am allowed to speak and speak my mind at that point. So that
Correct.
kind of answers Muskan your question also. It need not be across generations or same age or different ages because age does not play a part. It is point of view that plays a part.
So, but also in this matter, I feel that if if a person asks for some sort of advice, then it's fine. Otherwise, it should just be like, okay, if you're talking about something and if something is inspiring me from it, I will pick it up. Or else, like, I feel the conversation should just sort of be there.
Okay, okay. Let me give you an example. Maybe that makes it easier. So the three of us are talking right now. We
Hmm.
three seem to have three different points of view.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I'm agreeing with you, sometimes I'm agreeing with her. Sometimes both of you are agreeing with each other and disagreeing with each other, or all three of us are disagreeing on that. At no point are we feeling any conflict is there because we are genuinely trying to understand a topic here. And just because it's on camera, it's just one more facet of okay, we are all being recorded. But otherwise, there is no specific intention to make a mark with some clever comment. That
Correct.
honesty is what is making the three of us talk the way we are because otherwise I was thinking that the three of us are laughing on a topic like anxiety at some points. Are we trying to show that we do not understand it? But that's not the point because the topic and how it resonates with us, we are not moving away from it.
Correct.
So that is also one for me. This is a very new kind of episode where I am also learning. Okay, one can talk very seriously, but can laugh at the same time. It's
Yeah, I
not
mean,
making.
you are
Yeah.
supposed to laugh at life. I mean, that's what keeps you moving also. You can't always be serious
I
about
completely
everything.
agree, but I'm saying for somebody who will watch this episode and may look for some inputs on anxiety because they or their friends or somebody else has, which is what the objective is, that they think, okay, there are other people who understand. It's not even that we have answers. In fact, the entire podcast, we never have any answers. It's just that, okay, I have gone through this, I am putting this out there. And if somebody feels it resonates, it's just the human condition of me knowing that you've gone through this and you knowing I have gone through this, and we kind of connect. We don't need to tell each other as well, because anyway, the video becomes a third medium and there is no human connect besides the fact that we are human beings speaking.
Yeah, I mean, we don't
So,
have any ulterior motive to anything as of
yeah,
yet.
which is a beautiful thing, no? Because that is how you come up with any answers. Because if we start having other agendas, then we will not contribute authentically to the chat.
Yeah.
So one other thing that comes to mind is, uh, do you think besides the your thing, do you think that besides the boys topic or girls topic, whatever the other sex, there is also the need to be successful at everything that you pick up, be it studies, be it these classes and swimming and sports and everything that we pick up from the, maybe this is handed down from our generation saying that you need to be good at it. I have seen this in school long time back. In primary section, when my kid was very small, people were talking about fancy dress competition and sitting like Shah Rukh Khan and do this, do this. The kid was freezing on stage. Like that was hardly what, second or third standard. And I was like, hey, you are like, Madhav, it's such a dumb thing. Madhav, it is such a torture. That kid is looking so pretty. Just let her come and say whatever she wants to and get off. But this keeps happening, coming from parents and other elders and relatives. We are Indians. We like to poke our nose in everybody's business as much as we can. Um, you guys are Marwadis. You would know a little more than I do about this as well. So
I will let Muskan
No,
answer
I'm
this
going
first because I know we are going to clash
so
here.
disagree. Yeah. We
Yeah.
both have different perspectives of this. But I think there's a pro and con to it. Everything has it. The pro being that if people push you, you will go out of your comfort zone and get better. Maybe something might inspire you. Maybe if 10 people are telling you, you will get inspired to do it better. So that's what, keeps on pushing you to be better at it. If someone's saying, okay, you do 10 things, be good at 10 of it, and you try your best, you might probably become. And only if you want to. I mean, I think it's, yeah, that. And the con to it is I feel that uh, only if the person wants to take it in a way that 10 people are telling me, so I should feel bad about it, or this and that, or why are 10 people telling me, why are 20 people telling me to do something. So then that's like that person is just taking outside stuff way too much for no reason.
Shabran, you've been smiling for a while. What do you have to say?
I knew the answer she's going to come
And I
up.
know what she's also going to reply.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I need to know what she wants to say. What do you think?
It's to see. By nature, I'm a very like competitive, like all that. So like, firstly, the question why. So the first thing is, I think the whole point when you're competitive or you want like I want to be best, I want to be the la 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 la. It comes from the fact purely because society treats you different. For me, it's always that like in a society what we live today, you are being put on a throne if you're doing 10 things. And automatically, when you're not doing 10 things, they will put you off the throne. You know? So even when you are like, if you're a kid or whoever, like, when it's a group of 5 kids, oh, that kid is doing this, that kid is doing this. It's purely a society lookout. It's not like that kid has been pushed to do 10 things. It has been happened because we live in a materialistic and everybody want power, where people want to have that power ki, oh, I'm good at, I'm this at that at, and then it's completely different thing that you want to be at top. Why with your craft, like I want to be at the top with my craft is a very different thing, and I just want to be at the top because people are treating me differently. It's a very different thing. So the whole point of view of this pushing, do this, be here, happens because of society. It can be definitely changed, but we are like highly populated country, so it's impossible.
But I feel if it's changed to like zero and no one's telling you, you should probably do better or this, then you will probably become so lazy that you will not push yourself to do anything. So there has to be a balance, but not exactly zero. And I knew exactly she's gonna answer
Because it is more society thing.
more materialistic world.
Okay. Um, if you were both to move out of this, knowing what the other would think, and speak on behalf of so many other friends that you might have had, some other experiences that you see, do you think it is it's a I love the demarcation that you did, that your self motivation where you are saying that I want to go there on your own because it's your decision, you will take a lot of crap for it. You will
Correct.
like I remember one of the funnier episodes. There was this kid who had come with his father for advice this many years back, that I was very successful in advertising and they wanted my advice on what he should do. I asked him, what do you want to do 16 hours a day without getting paid? He said, music. He said, why have you come to me? You already have the answer. His dad said, we will not meet Bunty ever again on career advice. And he made him join NIT or something like that, and he did a course. Today he's making good money and but he's unhappy. Whenever I see him, I find that here was somebody 16 hours a day, you know what you want, उसके बाद तो कोई क्या ही बताएगा ना. मतलब you are already happy and without money. The question was very clear. You are not making any money. But I find that this is also one of the bigger concerns. While Muskan did mention guys and girls wala example, one of the other things that I sometimes worry about is that a lot of youngsters are no longer worried about having any kind of human relationship and are completely crazy about reaching somewhere. Uh, do you think that could also be leading to situations which would make people anxious a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest, I feel, because people are not, they don't want to have connections, they don't want to have relationships, don't want compassion. Like those old school stuff where you would actually sit and talk is probably, we are different. You're not so like this Gen Zs, at least I would like to defer to us. But yeah, that does make a difference, definitely.
Yeah. So, so if you had, let's put this to Muskan because she seems the most uncomfortable with this. So you have 15, 17. Yeah, yeah, because discomfort is where the answers would come from. So if you have a 15, 17-year-old cousin or whosoever and who comes to you for advice and has issues vis-a-vis anything, but is very anxious all the time, a little stressed out about any aspect, you choose the aspect, that much I'll give you, whether it is relationships, whether it is career advice, or what studies or accomplishment in studies, or nobody understands me is one thing that I keep hearing. I don't know what we are supposed to understand. But this is a common thing that I keep
I
hearing.
think this is what Janki fault is, that person won't clearly tell you these 10 things and how are you supposed to understand.
Exactly.
No, so I am saying any one of them. You choose any of these topics. So if Muskan, somebody comes to you who is 17 and who is willing to listen, so we give you the, you have to give that
No
person
one
the.
will come. No one will come.
And don't be so fixated on it. Uh, suppose that person has nobody else and you have compassion at that point of time, and you can say what you will. What is it that you think uh, will help that person calm down? I'm saying simply calm down in that moment. What is it? Because you guys have given, while they have been laughing about it, there have been very relevant answers to how one should approach life. Laughing at oneself is one answer you gave. She's been speaking about delineating, about understanding what is it that you want and understanding what the society wants out of you. These are very important things that each person has to figure out for himself or herself. So now there is this kid talking to you. guy, girl, whatever, with any kind of problem which is making them very, very anxious.
First
How would
question
you?
I ask them, okay, how many hours have you slept? These kids, they don't want to sleep only. They will be up till like 12, 1, 2. And then they wake up at like 7, 8, always constantly on their phone. And so first I'm going to ask, how many hours have you slept? Okay, if they have
Okay,
not slept, first I'm going to say, go sleep. You sleep it off. You come to me tomorrow. If you still feel
okay,
anxious, first is going
valid
to be.
point. Okay,
Second, I'm going to ask, what have you been eating for the past 3 days? If you have not had any fruits or anything, I'm going to say, first you go eat these things. First, to get your body a bit aligned. Once you're there, then you come and tell me, okay, what's the issue? And if it's something just about the work, about, just school or something, I'm just going to tell them, what, you're just thinking to short term, think long term, you have a big life ahead. That's it. Don't be so thinking, this happened, what will happen to me today or tomorrow. It's okay, it's a big life, you'll change, things will happen, you move on. It's like that.
that's wonderful. That is good advice actually, but a little boring from a teenager's point of view, I would think.
Why not
So
just take them out on a
shattering
drive or
points.
somewhere to get them like less anxious? These are the major things I feel. They don't
Yeah,
eat.
yeah,
They'll
I
eat these
agree.
all stuffed junks, like like anything. And then their body is so like tight and everything, then they don't get better. Like I think I was that teenage person. Now I'm coming into that Zen mode where I'm like eating well and everything. And I feel if I'm sleeping for good 8, 9 hours, like a good sleep, I feel better the next day. And I think it's the same case with these younger generations because I've seen them. Like I have these 5, 6 cousins who are younger to me. They'll be up till like 1, 2, and then they'll wake up at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And I don't know how are this how do they do that? Like kids at that age, especially till the growing age, they're supposed to sleep more so that your brain develops, your body develops. They don't let it happen because they're constantly on the phone or they're doing something or the other, or they're trying to think of some third thing which you're not supposed to do at that age. You're supposed to rest well. You're supposed to let your body grow. They don't let that only happen. I don't know why do they do that. But yeah.
Okay. Shabrin, you have a younger point of view than that.
Like me, I would be not definitely say that. But yeah, I would
You
want
have to
them
speak
to
up.
sleep. I would definitely want them to sleep, eat, and then come to me also. But then the question I may ask them ki how many days have you thought about it? Because if it's like those instant advice you were thinking 1 hour prior and then you just come for an
That's
advice.
why I said, but you sleep it off. Once you sleep it off, and if you
So
sleep,
then
you come
that's
to me the
something,
next.
right?
Yeah.
Problem I feel because I do have a younger brother who I tried advising a lot about what to do with career.
Sorry. I'm just trying to like understand who these people are.
Like, who tried to ask me for an advice. He came to me and he asked, what, Didi, what should I do for my career? And he's like, you are good at your career, so give me advice. And then I looked at him and I just said, just because I am good at something doesn't mean you will be good at too. Because, I have also done my falling. So firstly, I told him that it's okay to fall. Firstly, the fact that I felt personally when I was younger, ki like, when you tell somebody it's okay to fall, you have somebody to take care, it makes it easy. So I'm giving you
Yeah,
a lead. Please fall. Please break your leg. Please break your head. We are here taking care. So as an older person, that's something I would have liked to hear it. Then the second thing I told him, ki like, okay, what your search look like? Tell me about it. What you want to do? You know, he said he wanted to do MBA just because one of the brothers was doing MBA. Then he said, what, I can, I want to fly plane just because he was seeing a series. Then one day he came to me and he said, I'm going to do social media course because social media is booming. I said, okay. Then he came to me and he said, what, let me be a designer only because I'm good at drawing. I said, okay, do go search about it, study about it. And then when you let them study it, it makes it easier ki how tough it is, you know, so that rather than me giving you point, oh, I did 3 year course plus 3 year of work, you do your study and come back to me. And then eventually he came back and he said, what, I like selling because I keep on selling this thing, that thing. I said, yeah, you were selling me 4 courses for yourself also. So, so I said, okay, you study about it, it makes you happy, because I do come from a belief, if your profession doesn't make you happy, you will not last with it. Money will come if you really love something. So yeah, so like, I'm a more, I will make you do your study before I open my mouth and advise you, because I feel I don't need to advise you. You will get the answer within. It's just the whole research work has to happen within yourself.
You were just inspiring to him to just find what he probably wanted. You were
Yeah.
not really like,
Yeah.
you just inspiring.
Okay. One last question.
Yeah.
Sorry. What was
I
that?
said you will feel like two different people
Yeah.
talking something else only, like.
No, in fact, I am liking this energy quite a lot, and this is maybe that is what was missing from the podcast in the sense of a lively introspection of things that are mattering to all of us. Uh, so the question that was running in my head right now, a final question of sorts. Uh, there was a lot of practical things that Shabrin brought in, even in the last answer, and in fact, all the answers almost. Uh, how do you see pessimism?
How do you
How do
see?
you see?
Pessimism, negatives. Do you think bringing up negatives when people are anxious is a good thing or a bad thing? And how would you, if you want, I can give you a context, but otherwise, you're free to come up with your answer. Do you need a context? So you come to me crying, I am anxious about this. So let's take the same example. Oh, I like this career today, and I like this career tomorrow, and day after I like something else. And then I come, I'm no good at anything, and because I can't make a solid decision on anything, and I will not sit down and say, no, 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 it's all right, and it happens. I might, but beyond a point, I will not. I will actually say, yes, you are foolish. So make changes in the part that is foolish and try to come up with a wise answer. And for the wise answer, you need to go through this uh, difficult night. So I would very easily use negatives and even put you down if it is required, if I think it is for your benefit. I will not mollycoddle and say, oh, no, no, no. Hota hai bacha, hota hai aisa. Because it doesn't help. Life is not like that. Very often at our workspaces, in our friendly spaces, relationships, there are so many other complications that come up. So if you were to ever advise somebody, would you use negatives?
We
And
advise
how?
each other only every day.
Sorry?
We advise each other every day.
Okay. So what is it that works for you vis-a-vis each
What
other's
works for you?
advice?
I have to answer, okay? So first would be, I personally don't, the way you said, negative work, yeah, they do. But that has to happen when, the way she said, we advise each other, right? So we have a relationship which has gone through a lot of ups and downs and years. So for me to snap at her and be honest, she's not going to read it wrong. She will understand that it is coming from a very different place. Firstly, so it's okay for me to be little bit more honest, raw, and like brutal. Correct? But that has to happen with people you have a relationship and bond with and trust with. Now, contrary to that, I also believe I don't want to say negative to anybody. Like, I want people to be as open as possible to not talk negative or say anything negative, because that can't take a conversation anywhere. Like, that will really, me putting you down is not make me giving you advice. You know how people say you need to use your word wisely? They say it because it has to come from a point. You have to tell your point, but in such a way that it does not hurt somebody. Because at your lowest, what is going through you, what you're thinking, what's happening, I can't read that. So I would rather prefer giving you the negative, but in a more wrapped way.
Like a negative sentence, negative followed by a positive to make it diplomatic.
Correct.
That would probably be the correct way to put forth.
Correct. So that's how I would tackle it. But yeah, if somebody who is like as close to me as her, then what's wrong, what negative, what positive, then she's gonna get it because I know she will understand. And also I know the I
Mindset.
know the story, I know everything, like it's not like one piece has come to me one day and she wants advice and I decided to give her negative.
And my negative could be your positive, and your positive could be my negative. So I don't know what really is the negatives. I never understood this whole concept of I would never want to speak bad of someone or to someone.
Yeah.
So then what does my negative or positive really mean is what the other person is taking it. For me, it's yeah, totally fine.
In my head, it's always been that if my intent is, say, for example, my intent to speak to both of you is to really understand where this generation is coming from, what is it that, as a generation, also what can be done, or as just a topic to explore and figure out if this can help even one person. It's always good to know. But otherwise, at no point it is that we are sitting as experts to tell others, because it's a serious issue. Maybe there are other people with some clinical problems regarding these kind of subjects. We can't do much about that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, this has been a good chat. I have no clue because I have had so much fun listening to you all, and the vibe has been excellent. And I hope we have quite a few more talks on different subjects at different points of time. Thank you so much for your time, and it's been lovely speaking to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for
Next
having
time
us.
we will also follow Jashri.
She has we have another friend, and if we call her, she has a whole different perspective. So
Yeah.
that's like
So that will be more fun for you to
yeah.
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
we
more
shall.
like snappy and timid, so she's gonna say everything like just in like one sentence. She
Yeah,
is that.
wonderful.
She wouldn't mind me saying it.
Yeah, we. I intend to do this with many more different age group youngsters as well, and I'm just hoping that these guys are as much fun as this has been. But let's see what happens. And we shall also talk to your friend. We can have more than two people on the chat. If she is willing to come, the more the merrier. We can do a
Yeah.
longer day. Next time we have to think of something with B, and we are continuing the letter. So anxiety hopefully will be useful to somebody. Thank you so much. I'll see you
Thank
around.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.